YouTube! What the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage back after having defeated the Vascones at Sissus, pushing them back just barely, but nonetheless able to accomplish it. And it looks like that turn-in has finished. Got players trying to adopt me. That reminds me, I probably should check out the political situation if I have really failed to do so up to this point. That Admiral in Sissus right there, really need to maybe accidentally get him killed. Statesman, General, Admiral. Okay. Let's see if any of these... Hannibal's probably the only one out really earning... Oh, this guy's got the opportunity for promotion. Take that. Build his gravitas. And that is all that's going to be available to me for now. Don't want to waste too much more money there at the moment. This Vascones army is now at Hannibal's feet, and we should be able to destroy them. So auto-resolve this. Look at that, they got another general, so they have a whole other unit of veteran shield warriors. Looks like the defensive stance gives me the best bet. Let's go ahead and mop those guys up. Kill the captives, and that's going to be the end of those fellows. And this army is now capable of defending Salduba. Let's see if we can manipulate this agent once again. Just to keep her out of my business, basically. And this province here, if I can just cross the border, I'll have access to more recruiting options. I still won't probably have access to any Gallic recruiting options. If I force march, though, I can make it back into my territory. Let's see what we have available. I can give a couple of weapon upgrades out. That's never a bad idea. And, oop, forgot my Numidian Cav. Not Numidian Cav, this Scutarii Cav. Let's see.
We fight for you, my lord.
Let's take a look at the available mercenaries. These Scutarii would actually make much better mercenaries than these Iberian swordsmen. I might hire them instead, because, in all honesty, folks, I do have it on very hard, and I'm going to be going against the Romans. The Romans are going to be quite entrenched, and they're going to have a lot of troops, and again, with the help of the Etruscan League, I'm going to swap out that standard Numidian Cav for that mercenary Numidian noble. This unit will probably do a better job of representing the power that the Numidian Cav offered Hannibal during this campaign. And I do believe that I'm going to trade out these fine fellows for some Scutarii. So again, I'm just going to tweak Hannibal's army to my liking. Somewhat historical in nature, not entirely, obviously. I think I've got a good handle on the Cav and a good handle on his mercenary corps. I think another couple of skirmishers and then one other unit. I might hire at least one Gallic infantry unit when I get the opportunity, but for now, we'll just go down this route. I'm going to pick up one more mercenary Balearic Slinger. And then another thing that I would like to do on the next turn when I get some money is to put a mercenary veteran in his army, which can serve a couple of purposes. One, to obviously train his troops, but another to give him some recourse against enemy agents that he'll no doubt run into within Italy. I think it's safe to leave Olispo. This amphitheatron will be finished on the next turn, and we should probably march to Lagos and this city here. Let's. I'm thinking my path should probably lead here and then on out, so let's try that. It's going to be quite a long march. I might go ahead and force march the first leg of this because I don't expect to find any Lusitani troops out here. On the next turn, I'll probably switch back for safety. Alright, and that is all the money I have for this turn. My income's down some, of course, because I have new troops. And I also hired those mercenary Numidian nobles. That is not going to be cheap. Let's see. Civil research rate. I'll take that. And give him some authority. Alright. Let's end this turn. Might need to give my my new army a more appropriate name. What the Romans are doing, they're kind of sailing towards the North African coast. Wonder if they're trying to do something like Regulus did. I think it was Regulus, at least, who tried to raid North Africa in the First Punic War.
Gift of gold, if you will take it.
The Vascones want a peace treaty, do they? It'd be nice to have a peace treaty from them, but I really need their lands. So I'm going to demand that they become a client state, which they, of course, are going to reject. Can't expect them to be excited about becoming a client state. Yeah, the Romans are... They've got an enemy fleet, enemy fleet, enemy fleet. 3 enemy fleets outside of Hippo Regius. So I could probably use a more substantial navy in this vicinity.
We're going to need a bigger fleet.
I get some artillery ships. And probably another... Ooh, that's a Sacred Band ship. Never mind, I don't need something quite that fancy. Probably just a couple of pursuit ships would do the trick. I don't need to recruit all these in this turn. I'll save that money for other use since I can only recruit 3 troops in at once.
We fight for you, my lord.
Hannibal.
My lord.
Let's take him out of force march. Let's see if we can get the champion to accompany him. Preferably one that gives even more military bonuses, which I don't see one. I do believe I have such a champion.
How can I serve Carthage?
Maybe I did. Maybe I'm thinking of another campaign altogether. It doesn't look like I do. This army here, too, is not doing anything. So actually, let's take this army to go towards Sicily. I don't believe it will be needed here. The Maori appear to be somewhat pacified towards me, even though they... Well... What do they not like about me? They have a cultural aversion. They don't like what I did with the Gaiatuli. I do have a trade agreement with them. And they do not like the Lusitani, which I would think they would approve of.
Greetings, friend. Let us use our time together in wisdom
I don't want a
and
defensive
seek
alliance. Certainly don't want a military alliance. We already have a trade agreement. I might just give these guys a small gift. Just to try and keep them from falling against me. I'd rather keep them in line with me. They probably don't like me, though, because I've gotten into wars with quite a few different folks. I'm going to force march this army to Hippo Regius to protect it just in case the Romans want to try something funny. I don't think they would be quite so foolish, but they might be. And I'm going to force march this army back in this direction. It's going to take a few turns for it to get there. And then this army is going to... I'm going to risk it and stay in force march. There very well could be a Lusitani army over here, and I could get ambushed.
On the move, my lord.
But we'll take the risk. Looks like it's going to pay off, I think. We'll see what happens on the turn end. And then Hannibal really just has 2 more slots open for recruiting, one of which I'd kind of like to be a Balearic Slinger, which I'm going to have to wait. But that's a factional mercenary, so I should be able to move on with Hannibal. And then, like I said, I'd like to pick up 1 Gallic infantry. So this army doesn't have any siege equipment, which is a risk, because Hannibal is definitely going to be fighting in siege battles, but we'll deal with that when or if the time comes. And I do believe that we should probably consider whether or not I can use my funds to build anything useful. So let's go to my settlement scroll. We could probably upgrade Saguntum, and that's going to be about all I can do, it looks like. Let's see what the Romans do. They act like they want to attack me there. They've got quite a large force concentration. I'm going to build a few more pursuit ships and go challenge their fleet.
Our struggle will end badly and with little honor for anyone. My elders suggest peace. What say you?
These guys really want peace, but I really can't give it to them because I need their lands. It would be utterly pointless. I mean, I guess maybe I could give them peace and try and improve relations.
We seek trade and prosperity
I don't know why I wasn't trading with you earlier, by my own stupid mistake. I forgot to try and get rid of this agent, though, and I'm having a hard time converting this agent, so perhaps we'd have a better time assassinating this agent. Indeed. So my spy has just leveled up, and at least 5 turns from now we can repair that damage. Jeez, that seems pretty extreme, the amount of damage. I'm going to improve once again this spy's ability to be cunning, as it seems like it paid off there. This army is going to need to now come out of forced march and continue its march against the Lusitani. And then this army is really not in condition to oppose the Vascones quite yet. Probably could. It's not very good, but maybe we can put a couple of cheap mercenaries in here. Some of these Iberian swordsmen. I could throw in some Celtic swordsmen, I guess, since I'm out of them. Yeah, I'll just throw in a few mercenary units to bolster the ranks. I need a couple of cav units too. It's gonna eat up a little bit of my income, but it'll let this army go out and be functional at this point. Vascones are here, and in somewhat strong numbers, but not really. Should be something I can handle. And it looks like Hannibal here with Baal's Wrath is ready to begin his adventure. So we're going to have to march straight through the lands of Emporion. And if they choose to attack me while I do so, it's going to be quite maddening. We could try and seek some type of military access,
the day is already old, and
which I
there
don't
is
think
much
they would
to
give
do.
me.
So if you have words, speak them.
They're still a defensive ally of Rome, and militarily allied to Massalia. So they will most likely attack Hannibal when he comes through. But that's okay, it'll give me something interesting to do. Of course, Hannibal had to pull off some pretty slick maneuvering in real life to keep his men from getting killed on the way to Italy. I don't remember all the details, but it was pretty impressive what he was able to pull off. Obviously passing through foreign and sometimes hostile land, all the while avoiding the Roman army that was out looking for him. So he was definitely an impressive commander. The Romans are most certainly going to attack me at Hippo Regius now, as they're moving in a fleet, and some to reinforce. They have a ship with Principes for an admiral. I don't know what's on this ship. A Hastati Byreme. Many more skirmishers. Many more skirmishers. They're mostly skirmishers. I only have limited infantry of my own, but I do have elephants, and I do have a Carthaginian cav. So this is going to be our first fight against the Romans in this campaign. So interesting, they've chosen to try and invade North Africa. I suppose that they're getting a little ahead of themselves, and perhaps a visit from Hannibal might help to humble them. Also, I think that as soon as my army gets over to Carthago, it's going to be high time to invade Sicily and give the Romans a different battlefront to focus on. I think that in this case, for Carthage, the best defense is a good offense. So, kind of like Hannibal thought. This is going to be tricky. I'm going to go ahead and dock these ships right there, and no doubt need to defend this town square. Let's get my men running in that direction. I've got quite a few hoplites here, which are definitely inferior to the Roman swordsmen, but with the support of my Carthaginian cav, ought to be capable. And I have a good number of javelin men. The Romans are going to have to come in by sea, disembark. There are some of their fleets that might be ripe for the taking as soon as they disembark, like this one, which only has, it has a Triarii, never mind. I wouldn't call them ripe. They're quite capable. Getting rid of all those skirmishers would be nice, though. The real question would be whether or not my elephants and cav could deal with the elephants and cav could deal with the other units there. Oop, sorry, didn't mean to hit pause. Just trying to think here. Do I go for it? If I get too close, they may try and fire their ballista ship at me. I should probably let them beach themselves before I take after them, and I should probably not get too hasty either, because their javelin men will try and cut down my cavalry or elephants if I get too hasty. I think I'm going to wait it out and try and play it safe here. There is a unit of Principes disembarking right here.
At speed!
I'm going to try and get some cheap shots on him.
At the double! Advance!
I have this javelin unit here, and they won't be able to skirmish away from me. They're in Testudo, though. Don't waste your ammo. Look at that, the AI using Testudo. That's frustrating. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and let them be in Testudo. You know what, that unit might be, could be a potential target for my elephants, but I don't want to get my elephants too far away from help, because the Romans are disembarking a fair number more javelin men over here. These troops are also going to disembark, which is again mostly javelin men. The town center does not constitute a victory point, though, and I do believe that my best bet is actually going to become face these guys, and that is what I shall do.
Awaiting orders! Elephants at the ready!
I do think I might be able to raffle stomp this Principe unit. I'm gonna try it. All the while, I'm gonna try and tie up all these units. That is a lot of skirmishers, some Hastati. I do have a heavy infantry advantage in this vicinity. Another Triarii coming in, so a couple of Triarii units are actually going to be quite challenging to take out, and not only that, they're going to be a major danger to my general. I don't have the second wind ability, so I'm somewhat remiss to use my trample. So I don't believe I will, especially since I'm going to be able to get these Principes from behind. I'm not going to get a very good charge, though, because it's somewhat uphill, and they did turn around. Though I do believe my elephants will not have too hard a time taking these guys down. I will take some
Our general is under attack!
HP damage here, but it should be fairly minimal. Oh gosh, yeah, right here is the problem. Got Velites beelining it straight for my elephants.
Javelin men! Judos! Cavalry!
I must cut them off right now. And the sooner I take out those Principes, the better. This is actually not how I wanted things to unfold, because those Velites are going to rip my infantry apart.
Completes!
The sooner my elephants can get free from this fight, the better. I'm gonna go intercept these mercenary peltists.
Our orders! Forever loyal!
Okay, let's pick an appropriate target in this vicinity. The enemy Principes are gone.
Completes! Ready!
Okay, my hoplites have intercepted a good number of enemy troops. And my elephants are now making their way around. I'm gonna go straight for those Velites. And I'm gonna keep my Carthaginian cab moving as well. Oh crap, that's a tower ship back there, I forgot, and there's Triarii. Best for me to actually flee this vicinity with my general before that
Completes!
fire, or the tower on that ship
Cavalry!
does me a great deal of damage.
War elephants!
My elephants just took a pretty painful javelin volley there, actually. I'm going to target these. There's some Triarii here that are off the boats that I think need to be the target of my javelin's affection.
We are at your command!
Okay, most of the Roman troops here shattered. My Carthaginian cav is suicidally charging straight into Triarii, so I'm going to have to spam orders, obviously, to get them to change their mind. I lost probably half my Carthaginian cav unit there.
Completes! Ready!
Spearman!
I do have my my javelins unloading into these Triarii. There's more Triarii here, though. This is going to be problematic.
Our orders!
I think it's going to be worthwhile to move my javelins to get better shots.
At your command!
And I can now run down these mercenary peltists. Okay, My general is safe, but he has taken some XP damage. Or, not XP, HP damage. Sorry, I always say XP. It's my mistake.
Spears are yours. Break engage. Javelin men.
Okay,
Orders.
and I did not want you to enter the melee javelin. Even completely surrounded, these Triarii are going to be a very potent threat. Hitting these guys from behind with javelins is pretty much the only way to take this situation.
Javelin men.
Do the same thing here.
Reload.
And I'm going to save my cavalry and elephants to chase down these velites here, as they are some of my last remaining concern. There is one more Triarii unit, which is indeed a valid threat, and my infantry is getting much more battered than I would have liked. You can see that these Triarii are not going to be easily broken. They're heavily armored, and even getting hit in the back with javelins and outnumbered, they're lasting quite a long time in this fight.
Javelin men.
We will darken the
I'm going to
sky.
conserve the last few javelins that I have here. Look, it took all of my javelins plus my infantry units to take down that Triarii unit. Tell me those guys aren't strong,
My lord.
because they are,
Our order.
and I'm wasting precious javelins here. Okay, we have managed to handle the situation temporarily. Let me pull back these mob just a little.
Our men flee the field of battle. This is a shameful display.
Alright, I do have some infantry left. This is going to be a tough fight. My elephants have suffered some HP damage,
Infantry ready.
but are still going to be capable.
March.
Javelin men.
Our orders. Double time.
I have to make sure that my elephants are not taken by these javelin men, and I have to not be too hasty with my cavalry, because the javelin men will cut down my cavalry.
For the people of Carthage.
But we did successfully beat back the Roman attack on this flank through a concentration of force, but the Romans are at least appearing to want to take the town center. I have infantry moving back as quickly as possible. We could go ahead and take my javelins to greet the Roman Triarii. I'm about to have a quick reload back at my
Double time.
back for my use.
At speed.
I don't have a whole lot of javelins yet, but
Cavalry.
all the damage I can do would be good, and what I would intend to do is pin the Triarii somewhere around here, and then come around with my elephants and see if we can seal the deal. But I'll soften them up a little bit with these javelins.
Reload.
Some quick reload. Hopefully the Triarii don't go into Testudo. That first round of javelins didn't even kill a single man. These guys are heavily armored.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Okay, I see the opening where I'm going to want my cav to get through. I'm also going to sneak a couple of the weak infantry units out
Sting and Colisa.
this direction.
Javelin men.
And I'm going to engage the Triarii here,
Ready.
and then get around them with elephants.
Loyal sons.
This maneuver over here is just going to be to keep the
War elephants. For honor and glory.
okay.
Hoplites ready.
At the double.
Awaiting orders.
Balhamon.
These units here, get my elephants completely around
Forward.
and behind this Triarii unit. These skirmishers are just here to hold up these enemy skirmishers to keep them from getting within range of my general.
Now. Grind them into dust.
Put my general into trample, hit these Triarii from behind. We did just get a massive charge, but we'll see how much these guys drop. It's going to be imperative that they go down quickly, because otherwise they'll start scoring some kills on my general.
Our orders.
They are wavering already. I haven't lost an elephant, so this is good.
Swift.
I do believe we're going to be able to pull this off. Yep,
War elephants.
another challenging fight.
Advance.
And the AI is certainly not perfect, but certainly doing much better,
Cavalry.
actually, in their ability to siege a city. They seem more coordinated,
War elephants.
and they're not just completely blowing it every time now, like by just glitching out or something.
War
So
elephants.
it's actually good to see, and it's good to see them scaring me a little more and giving me a bit more of a challenge. But it looks like in our first battle against the Romans, we were able to successfully push them back. That's going to be all I have time for in this episode. I hope you all enjoyed this desperate fight from our Hannibal versus the Romans. It was a good one. Appius Aquilinus, I guess, was the attacking general there, and it was a pretty decisive victory for Carthage. And like I said, hope you all enjoyed it. HeirofCarthage signing off for now.